Hi, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? I'm here to tell you that my name is AJ, and I am a person, obviously. I guess I can start off saying that this channel is a gathering place of all my ideas and stories put together. The worlds of these stories take place in a place known as Shareverse, a fairly new term that I have made less than a year ago for the myriad of ideas that have been in my mind since I was 3. Since then, I tried to figure out what was the best way to express these ideas, and I just felt like talking about it would be the best option. I'm not trying to be like other animated storytime YouTubers, since most of my stories are in the realm of fiction. And while time to time I will address my real life, especially my self-OC is literally just me, sometimes I will have to call him by the character AJ just to distinguish the difference, but most of the time it'll just be exaggerated accounts of my life experience, plus where most of my ideas came from. In addition, not only will I be making videos based off of Shareverse stories, I also want to pursue in making reviews of multiple properties that I have an attachment to, and possibly gameplay videos. In addition, I enjoy other means of creating content such as my DeviantArt account using the name AJ Smashing. This is also the same name as my Twitter @ and you are more than welcome to view my accounts for updates. Now that I got my introduction out of the way, I feel like it would be helpful for what Shareverse exactly is, as well as how this world works. For starters, the name says it all. It's a shared universe of multiple properties in one modern-day setting. Of course, there are properties where it does not take place in the main universe or even in the future or past, so these properties live in their own universes, occasionally visiting the main universe for multiple reasons. Now, in the beginning of time and the creation of the universe, there's been a decision to make 2 forms of souls. Normal souls being humans, and astral souls being fictional creations. It is unknown why God made this decision to have these 2 souls be in the same plane of existence. Now, despite living in the same universe, these 2 souls do not get involved in one another's conflicts, so you won't be seeing any astral souls in human souls' wars or conflicts than vice versa. Additionally, the afterlife is different for astral souls. Normal souls, they either go to heaven or hell, and they stay there permanently. If an astral soul goes to heaven, they have the option to stay there as long as they want, or they prefer to be revived. If the soul goes to hell, however, it's basically jail to them. They have to serve however long their sentence is before going back to Earth. Additionally, one thing I failed to go over in the first episode of SSC was the alignment system. In Sherverse, there are 6 different alignments where movies, shows, games, etc. can be placed in depending on the style of the property, the vibe they give, and most importantly, who owns them. There are 6 groups, and they're broken into 2 halves, the media alignments and the aesthetic alignments. Not only that, but each alignment has their own sections inside their respective alignment, once again, depending on the property. But it is somewhat organized due to time periods for the sections. I'll go over each alignment as well as their sections and any noteworthy storyline related to the group within the Shareverse continuity. For the media alignments, there are the Viacom, Warner, and Disney alignments. If a property is in all 3 of them, it is branded as a Trinity property. The Viacom alignment is a mixture of Viacom CBS, Universal, Comcast, and any other companies that's correlated to one another. Sections are known as the North and South sections. North referring to modern decades in the 21st century, the South focuses more on properties from the 60s and early 70s. The most notable storyline is the Universal Disaster storylines from 2009 to 2013. The Warner alignment is mostly affiliated with all properties under the Turner umbrella, which includes Warner Brothers, DC, Cartoon Network, etc. The 2 sections are the East and the West, East referring to the early 20th century and modern time properties, while the West refers to more on the latter half of 20th century properties. Unfortunately, the alignment isn't that big enough to have a noteworthy storyline to discuss, mainly because the Warner alignment is probably the most tamest of the media alignments, as well as some of their characters and properties being in other storylines from different alignments. Now, the Disney alignment is fairly simple. Everything they own, what they used to own, or properties that have the same vibe as that company is in this one alignment. There are 3 sections to it: Original, Whacked, and Neo. Original is everything Disney made up until the 1980s, and Neo is all of their modern content from the past decade. Now, Whacked is an abbreviation for Wild and Crazy Guy Day, named after the 2015 Disney storyline of the same name. This includes properties from the 90s and 2000s that had that lighthearted, extreme attitude Disney was pushing at that time. Some of original Disney falls into this section as well, and the big major storyline in this alignment is Disney Fighting Evolution, which started prominently from 2007 to 2017. Moving on from the media alignments are the aesthetic alignments, which are mostly based off of properties from certain decades and non-television and movie properties. These include the Great War, choral, and subchoral alignments. Great War refers to the media during the early 20th century, where movie companies were almost in the exact same alignment before splitting into their own alignments, hence the name being a reference to the two world wars. These two sections being live and animated. The live section is mostly based off of live action properties during this era and some in the late 20th century. Animated refers to cartoons during this time period, and surprisingly, many animes during the 80s to 2000s. The main storyline is called Units, which is a collection of intertwined storylines from 2012 to 2017. The choral alignment mainly focuses on media properties from the late 90s to early 2000s. The sections are the past and the present, which means properties from the peak of the alignment and continuing properties today respectively. The main storyline from this alignment is called Choral Nights from 2015 to onwards. Lastly, the subchoral alignment is mostly based off of properties from the late 70s to the present. These sections are the urban and the underground sections. Urban mostly relies on the spectacle of cities and any properties that have the same vibe. Underground are properties that rebel against the urban side and consist of more edgy and extreme properties. While Subchoral has many storylines, including Super Smash Lesbians, none of them are more important to Shareverse than Fox Kids Special from 1999 to 2014. And that wraps up this channel's introductory video. I hope it did clear up some things up about the rules of this world, and hoping to tell more of my stories here. You can follow both my Twitter and DeviantArt, as well as subscribing to this channel to keep track on updates and new videos. Until next time, I'm AJ, and I'll see you all in the next one.